Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. I do total carbs, and today my carbs are, what are they? My carbs are 10 total, and it includes some goodies in my items. I am new to keto. Where do I begin? Well, I know. It's a challenge, isn't it? Because there is such a flood. And here it is January, and so there's going to be a lot of people that want to get going, want to get started, heard about it, promised themselves they would do this after all the hoopla and leftovers and tins of and bags of and frozen things of and all the things that people brought to the house after all of it is cleared. And it might be now, because we are heading into the second full week of January. And so for some of you, you're on WOBO and you're just going along and you had your week of beef only. Maybe you decided to continue it. Maybe you decided to stay carnivore, but add in other things. Maybe you didn't have coffee, you'll add it back in. Maybe you didn't have heavy whipping cream, you'll add it back in. There's so many things to do. But if you are absolutely a virgin to keto, hold on, keep it simple. Please, 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 please. I will fly to your house just to have you set up your keto food plan. The safest way that I suggest you doing it is you probably might want to go to 2 meals a day if you've been having 3. If you have been keto for a while, maybe now's the time to do OMAD, where it's all one meal, one seating, and just pulling it together. There are as many keto food plans as there are snowflakes, which is why I call us snowflakes and turtles, because our metabolism and food journey recovery is slow but steady, like a turtle. And then I call us pickles, because once you've crossed over and given up the grains and the sugars and the standard American diet and the seed oils, canola, vegetable, soybean, just to name a few, check your mayonnaise jar, check your bottled salad dressings. It could contain canola, soybean, vegetable oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, and things like that. And that stuff is not that good for your body. So, and then no fruits. Sorry. If they're in season and you live in Ecuador right now and there's raspberries that are abundant, some people allow them into their food plan. But if they're coming up from Ecuador or someplace and grown in a hot house and shipped up here, they're not in season. And so we've become so used to having berries year round and other things year round that we don't realize that there really is a time when they were growing on bushes and abundant. I have 2 raspberry bushes and not a one raspberry came up this year. Oh, well. But so I haven't had fruit in years, and I haven't had berries in months, or maybe a year. And so what I always suggest is just going at it simple. I think the most important things are electrolytes. I have a number of videos on electrolytes. You could put in the search bar on YouTube electrolytes, and you could be like overwhelmed as much as you are by what's keto. But I think it's important to have salt, magnesium, and potassium in your system. A lot of people say that is how you avoid the keto flu. What's the keto flu? When you feel awful, when you feel nauseous, when you feel this can't be working, when you have a headache. It could be at the beginning as your body adjusts. You have no idea what that standard American diet has been doing to your insides for decades. So now that you want to give it all up, yeah, there's certain precautionary things. You might want to invest in heavy whipping cream instead of half and half, or Coffee Mate, or any of the other creamers that have carbs in them and sugar in the case of Coffee Mate. So it's not just like giving up sugar and grains. That matters. Of course it matters. That's the biggie. And that's the assumption when you start keto, is that you won't be having that. You also might want to look at giving up high starch veggies. If you don't know the difference between a low starch veggie and a high starch veggie, you might want to Google that as well. You will find the family of sweet potatoes, things like that. And then some other things like artichokes are high. Broccoli sometimes can get high. Brussels sprouts are high, but don't even talk to me about giving them up. I'm not there yet. But yeah, and then low starchy veggies, which for a lot of people is the Brussels sprouts, the cauliflower, the spinach, although it has oxalates in it. That's another thing you'd have to look up, oxalates, and I spelt it wrong for a year. Oxalates. That's another deeper into the program of keto. Carrots, that's a no-no. Although some people have them, but they're more, in the beginning, it's just like any other food plan. Don't think that you can just jump in and begin having treats right away. Continue to have your adult beverages and keto-fi things that, they say you can have. It's a slippery slope. So that's why I say simple is best. A piece of identifiable protein. Oh, this is haddock. Oh, this is a burger. Oh, this is steak. Oh, this is a pork chop. That's your protein. And then over here are the sides. Sometimes you could have cauliflower or broccoli or Brussels sprouts or green beans or sauteed cabbage or the spinach if you still want to have it. And with butter on those things, sure. Or you could have a leafy green salad. Turn over those, what do they call them, clamshells and bags of lettuces, because you will find there's a tremendous difference in the amount of carbs in different lettuces. I love my romaine, but it's like twice as much as my butter lettuce, my baby butter lettuce, my baby lettuces, and that I get from Olivia's or Trader Joe's that's organic, or Whole Foods that's the Girl brand, although they don't have much to offer there at Whole Foods. I don't know why. They had butter lettuce, and then corporate said, no more butter lettuce. And the produce manager said, everybody asks for it, but corporate says no. Really? Butter lettuce? Like, okay. So you need to be careful. I always suggest a chronometer, a tracker of some sort. I use the chronometer or the chronometer, however you pronounce it. It's either tomato, and the point is tracking. And so I use that. And if you're one of my clients doing my 30 days of eliminating bad behaviors, bringing in good behaviors, eliminating things like salad dressings and mayo that has soybean oil or canola oil in it, and bringing in a purer way, learning how to make your salads at home. I always have macadamia nut oil with a little bit of Fourth and Heart ghee melted in it. That's my salad dressing. I'm not a vinegar person. I got enough tartness in my way of thinking, right? So there's all different ways. I suggest keeping it simple. This is a simple station, a simple channel, where when you tune in, you will always see simple, nothing fancy Nancy. I don't keto-fi. I don't cheat. I don't do any of the trendy sort of things like fat fast, egg fast, water fast, dry fast. I don't do any of those things. I'm a recovering food addict, and I want my food. I have a meal every 24 hours. It's called OMAD, 1 meal a day. Some people do 2MAD. It works for them. Some people do no fats whatsoever in their intermittent fasting period. I have heavy whipping cream in my coffee. I don't add other fats to it. And I have 2 to 3 cups of coffee, 2 regular, 1 decaf, and that's what I have in my day when I am doing my regular day of food. I don't nibble, I don't cheat, I don't snack, I don't go on to Pinterest, I don't watch food porn. I have the 2-second rule. Oops, food porn, get out of there. And I keep it very, very simple. It is a high-fat, moderate-protein, low-carb food plan, and it works. I'm 68 years old. I've been keto for, I think, 4 years, low-carb, high-fat for 2 years before that, and Weight Watchers before that. Oh, my. And there's a lot of Weight Watcher converts that come here that plug in, and they already know the idea of the tracking. It's just a little bit different language, but I allow myself the 20 total carbs. I usually have 10 total carbs or less. I don't mess up my life with net carbs. Net carbs are very, very slippery. And if you're looking for ways of cutting corners and enjoying things and keto-fying and having desserts and having keto bread and all that kind of crap, you can do that. Go ahead. Do the net carbs. I don't promote shakes, smoothies, or protein bars, also known as candy bars with wigs in my world of food recovery. I don't recommend Splenda and NutraSweet and Truvia. Truvia is heavily processed, even though it says it's natural. In my coffee, I have the heavy whipping cream. I avoid carrageenan. There's a whole, you can take your keto, you can take it as far as you want, little girl, little boy, but you know that you can go deeper all the time. I've been doing it, as I said, for like 4 years, and I never stop getting a little bit deeper each time. There are a lot of carnivore people here, and although carnivore isn't as many different ways of doing it as keto with the snowflakes, it has quite a few different ways of doing it, and you can watch a lot of those stations. I recommend KetoMad, K-E-T, and then OMAD. And that's Mike. He's my buddy. We do a video, Girly and the Cowboy, every month. And he was keto. Now he's carnivore and loving it. And I almost was carnivore, and then I slipped back into keto because I do still like my vegetables, even though some people say there's no need for them. I still like them. I still have them. They don't seem to affect my stomach. I'm not having 200 grams of broccoli every day, so I'm having wee little servings. I use small serving plates and dishes, like the Fiesta-ware bread and butter plate. I use a smaller salad bowl. I just use smaller vessels to get it to my mouth, to put it on the plates. And I often post what I eat for my OMAD. And I guess it might be what I eat in a day because it's my OMAD. So that's how I go along. And I do use the chronometer. I have the paid for version, which I think is $36 a year. So it's 75 cents a week. Well worth my time. And you can learn a lot about what you eat. You can learn about your macros, the fats, the carbohydrates, and the protein, and what works for you. And we're all different. You can learn about, so what has the highest amount of fat in it or the highest amount of carbs in it. If you want to start tweaking your menu because you're kind of high in a certain macro and it's like, doesn't feel like this is the optimum for you. And you can also see in order of appearance how much each item has as far as carbs go or protein grams go and things like that. Then you can even dive deeper with the chronometer and see what your nutrients are, because that's kind of fascinating too. And although there's mistakes even on chronometer, it still has the least mistakes. So it's your better choice of the trackers. And I've been on quite a few where there are mistakes made. So, but for the chronometer, it gets an A. It gets an A from me, not A plus, but A. And because most of the things are accurate and true. You can even put your weight in. You can even put you can sync your Fitbit or other exercise devices to it, and that will log that for you along with the weight. And it's great. You can put your recipes on there. You can put your certain foods in there, like say I'm having a certain item and I couldn't find it anywhere online or a good enough match in the chronometer library. And so you can put your food in, and then when you go to put it in, it comes in a different color as far as what the font is and what the typing is, the word. And so you know that that's the one that you put in. So that's the one you want to click for what you're having. It's a fascinating program. So if you're new, you know, some people dive in and tweak as they go. Others do, you know, a couple of months of research before they make the commitment. Your health is saying, do it now, will you? Learn as you go. I offer ketocoachingsarah.com, ketocoachingsarah.com. And that is, I have all different packages, phone packages, phone and chronometer 30 days of me seeing what you're having to eat, offering suggestions, and emails. And we email, we write notes to each other in chronometer, another feature. And it just works. It just pulls it all together and helps you tie it in a great big pretty bow. Because some of us just need some guidance because it's so messy and confusing at first, but then it starts to make perfect sense to the point where I don't know how I did it before, but I did with the grains and the fruits and all the crap in Weight Watchers. So no standard American diet going on here. No fancy Nancy recipes that, you know, take a quarter of a tea of this and 1 gram of that. And no, it's very, very simple, which I strongly suggest in the beginning. If you fall prey to those that keto-fy right out of the box, you might get into trouble. If you fall prey to net carbs right out of the box, you might get into trouble. Slippery slopes, especially if you identify yourself as a food addict. We're not all food addicts, but those of us that are, know we are, and we don't take chances because this to me is the last door on the left, and I'm very happy living at the end of the street, the last door on the left. Thank you so much for watching. KetoCoachingSarah.com. If you need me, I will see you the next time. Bye-bye for now.